Hi, it's just me. And welcome back. We are going to talk about more uncomfortable things today. Specifically, I would like to address friendships and relationships and being involved in them as someone who is bipolar. I'm not doing this to say, hey, you have to act like this if you're wanting to be friends with me, but just kind of as a way to say, hey, this is what's going on and I'm trying to sort it out, I guess. I think it's really hard for anyone to say I take ownership in a really crappy part of a relationship. I mean, unfortunately, I have to take ownership of the end of a lot of friendships just based on how I interpret things. This one's particularly uncomfortable for me to put out, in addition to strangers seeing it, which, I mean, if you want to judge me based on it, whatever. But I'm also putting this out there for friends and family who've known me for years, perhaps my whole life. Once it's done, I am actually sharing it to my personal Facebook page, and I'm saying, hey guys, watch this about how I see our friendships. But it's not meant to do any harm to anyone else. I just want to make sure that people, or allow people, an inside look, I guess, in a way, hopefully help me deal with some of the really poor reactions that I've had in the past. I hope that you don't interpret this as I'm trying to not take ownership of doing something out of line or just being maybe the cause of our distancing. I blame it all on myself. And anyway, back on topic. There's a certain part of me that really doesn't want to deal with it, but I will. And I guess, yeah, the main the main thing I'd like to drive home is that I do know that it's really hard to be friends with me. It's really hard to be friends with someone who has bipolar disorder, and I can confidently say that because I do have someone in my life who has bipolar disorder. Until they kind of addressed it, it was really hard to remain really close friends. I will go through phases of months where I just don't have it in me to see people. I have trouble talking to people at this point, but I think that's my doing. I have a lot of trouble developing and maintaining friendships because at this point in my life, when I become friends with someone, I guess I don't really trust that they're friends. And I don't really know, I can't put into words what a friend is at this point in my life. Like, I know that there's a couple people that I do consider close friends, but then there's probably a bunch of other people that really should fall under the friend title, but I don't know if I can contact them regarding anything. And when I do try and reach out, or if I'm considering trying to reach out, I'll have the message up and I hate talking on the phone. I can't hear what people say. But for example, people that I went to school with, and I graduated high school, I have a degree, and I also have a college diploma. So I've been through a lot of schooling. And in school, I've never had problems making friends per se, but maintaining friends outside of it has always been a little bit on the tricky thing, because I do have very high expectations of my friends, and now I'm aware that it's now specifically, and I have to say it that way because years ago I wasn't, but now I am fully cognizant of the fact that my expectations for friendship are really all or nothing, and that's ridiculous. Like, there is no way that someone can be like all friends all the time and you're the only one, and that just, it doesn't work that way. And as much as I know that, I still have really struggled with jealousy around friendships, and I'll just be like, okay, and I'm out, and I just walk away from it, and it's ridiculous. It leads to a very lonely life, to be honest. I go through depressive states that involve a lot of anger, and I'm very vocally angry sometimes, and I don't realize how it's coming off. I think one of the best examples for this that has hit home to me and made me realize what was going on is that at one point I couldn't understand what the problem was, and it was really frustrating. I was really confused. I didn't understand. And then he brought up the fact that we'd been fighting all the time. I didn't know we'd been fighting. I didn't realize this was going on, and it shouldn't have been going on. And when he brought that up, I had to stop and re-examine how I'm reacting to everything, because it's not what I believe was going on. And I don't want to argue all the time. That's not how I feel. Most of the time, particularly when my meds are working, I don't feel angry all that often. I'm a little volatile at times. But I'm a pretty happy person a lot of the time. So another example of where I'm coming off really angry and I don't realize it. I was driving with a friend and I see a sign, and I guess I commented on the sign, and I wish it had something to do with McDonald's, and I just like got super mad, like blurted something out, and she's like, holy, like, I didn't mean to piss you off. And I had to kind of backpedal and be like, oh, no, I'm not, no, I don't mean it that way. But I mean, once it's out, you can't take it back. It really sucks. Another problem that I have when it comes to friendships and relationships, and this is actually quite common in people with mental illness, is that I have major trust issues, and like everyone deals with their trust issues differently. My main, I guess, MO would be, you do something to break my trust, well, bye, I'm done. And I will literally just, I'll maybe go along with the rest of whatever interaction's going on, and as far as I'm concerned, that friendship is over. There was another time, and this one was a long time ago now. I had plans with someone to go to a party this one night. And like I said, this is quite a while ago. I really don't do anything anymore. But I had this plan to go to a party with these friends. And I'd think that things were going really well. And for example, in this case, I was supposed to go to a party with these people, and they just ditched me. And I know that happens and all that, but for me, when it happens, and if other people go through this too, please let me know, because then it'll at least make me feel a little less alone. But for me, getting ditched like that is just like, no. It's like, I don't want you around me ever, just leave me alone, and blah blah blah. So then, and this is what made it even worse. So then I called around, and I found someone else. They're like, oh, you know, your plans fell through, cool, okay, whatever, you want to come with us? Yeah, sure, that'd be awesome. That way I didn't have to, you know, feel like a complete loser like I usually did. But same thing happened with that one too. Getting ditched twice in one night. For me, it was getting ditched. For them, it may have been just honest mistake, forgot, whatever. But for me, it was 100% I got ditched because they didn't want to be around me, because I am toxic. I am a bad person. And that sucks. Like, that's what goes through my head. It's, I am a bad person. I am a toxic person. They don't want to be around me. I'm annoying. I'm a waste of people's time. I don't deserve to have friends. And even though this has gotten better and I'm better equipped to fight what the illness is telling me, it still hurts, and it's always going to hurt. And I think one of the struggles that I've really had, especially I'm finding, especially in the last few years, now that I've had kids and now that I'm kind of, I think my life is settling down and I'm doing better at maintaining my stability. And even when I go a little bit unstable, then I think I'm doing a lot better than I used to. But it's like, I think that it makes friendships and relationships a lot different when you're, I guess, abnormal, not a normie. Like, I do have high expectations. If you say something, I expect you to come through on it. If you change a plan, like, I focus hardcore on plans. Plans are really important to me. I don't like spur of the moment things. They make me uncomfortable and they make me nervous. So if you ask me if I want to come over on Friday and you're asking me Thursday or before, we're good. As long as I don't have anything planned, okay, I will have it right down to the second of when I want to have stuff done and when I need to be ready and when I need to start driving and where I'm driving from. I'll have everything planned out. So for me, if that's canceled last minute, that causes a lot of anxiety because I've already put so much work into making sure that it happens. Or like the location that I'm supposed to meet the person changes and I have to go through all of these plans again and figure it all out again. Or like canceling it right before it's supposed to happen. Or rescheduling it right before it's supposed to happen for an earlier time. Earlier times are just not good. I don't handle that well. But much later, I don't handle very well either. Like, I'm not an easy person to be friends with, and I don't mean that to be. And maybe that's just part of the reason that I keep myself more isolated now. I have trouble sending messages to friends and family. I have trouble calling friends and family because I think that it's never a good time, or it's not the time that they'd want to hear from me, and they're going to be disappointed to hear from me. It's like it feels, to talk about it feels very self-centered, and I do feel that it's coming off like that, and I don't know if that is just what's going on in my head telling me that no, you don't deserve to make this video and you should just shut up, and no one cares how hard being friends or in a relationship it is for you. But I hope that it helps someone to know that it's like, I'm trying. I do want to have friends. There's a lot of people from my past that I really miss. And I think through my adult years, I've forgotten how to be friends because of just some of the different things that I've been through. I've made a lot of bad choices that have... I didn't want to cry. I shouldn't be crying. Like, this isn't something to cry about. Something that I'd like to put out there and hope that it's understood the way I mean it to be, but I know I have no idea if it will be. One of the things that I have chosen to do since knowing that I have bipolar disorder, and thankfully there haven't really been a lot of times that I had to, was if someone was interested in dating me, I would let them know that I have bipolar disorder, because I do think that I think that it's fair warning. I don't mean that as in, oh, handle with care, just let me do whatever the hell I want type, but just, hey, I'm gonna go through times that aren't easy, and I'm gonna go through times where I know I'm probably gonna be really, really hard to deal with, and I want you to be aware of this before it happens, and I want to work towards setting up safeties so that if I'm behaving out of line, we can work on it, or you can let me know in some way so that I can start like reining myself back in, or maybe set up an appointment with my therapist or change my meds, because this is validly something that needs to be considered in a long-term relationship. I was having a full-blown depressive episode I was drinking quite heavily. I was a mess. Let's just say I was a real big mess. And I let them know that, you know, this is a problem. I'm really struggling with it, and I'm dealing with a lot of damage that has happened in the past. So bear with me, I'm struggling. And then I got told that, well, you don't get to use that as a crutch. And I'm like, I'm not using it as a crutch. I'm telling you that this is what's going on. This is what I'm doing to resolve this problem. Step aside and let me deal with it. Anyway, that ended right there. I think that it is a hindrance in more ways than it's a strength, but it is a big part of my life, just based on the fact that it can cause complete disruption. When Scott and I got together, one of the things I let him know very early on is about my illness, because, like I said, he needs to know about it if he's in it for the long run. I honestly feel that if you do have a mental illness and your partner isn't supportive of it, then either the partner really should educate themselves or be educated on what's going on so that you can help your partner. That's just part of love. That's part of taking care of each other. And for people who are friends with people like me, or even my the people that know me that I'd really like to see as friends again, or maybe be friends with again, or are still friends and my brain isn't connecting it. I'd love to say hi again. I don't want to cry again. So I'm gonna end it here. If anyone has any specific questions about relationships or friendships on my side of things, that would be awesome. If anyone has any words of encouragement or support from the other side of things, that would be greatly appreciated too. And thank you for watching to this point if you made it this far. I really hope that you have a great day. I hope that you have a great week. I think that it would be absolutely fantastic to bring a little bit more warmth and a little bit more joy to the world. So don't worry, you're tough, we aren't alone, and we can get through this together.